What's up, gamers? I'm back. So with the fat patch we just got in Pokemon Unite, after having played it for a couple days for, probably way too many hours per day, I can honestly confidently say that Venusaur was the big winner. Like, Venusaur got some crazy buffs. So I'm going to show you some gameplay while I talk about what they changed and why the character is so good now. Hope you enjoy. Smash sub, check out my Twitch, come back for more. Alright, so first of all, let's just get into what they buffed. They just straight up buffed his defense, special defense, and HP. They buffed his defense and special defense stats by plus 10 on each, which doesn't sound like a lot, but honestly, as an ADC main, the defense buff is pretty nuts. Venusaur is now a tank. That on top of the small HP buff he got is pretty insane. Now, that wouldn't be too bad all alone, right? Like, you just buff 3 of his stats, very cool. That's a pretty solid buff for a character, right? No, I don't know, man. I don't know which Venusaur stan paid the devs to just buff everything on him, but they just buffed everything on him. They gave a 23% damage increase on Petal Dance and reduced its cooldown from 9 seconds to 8 seconds. Now, Petal Dance has a 5-second active time, so really the effective cooldown is 3 seconds on this move and has a 23% damage buff. It's insane now. You hit level 7 with Venusaur and you are a monster. To go along with that, your Unite gauge fills up way faster. They lowered the Unite charge time from 134 to 112. They took 22 seconds off his static Unite charge time. That's crazy. Now you throw Amp on this lad. First of all, that lowers your cooldowns for Petal Dance and Giga Drain even further. And now you can just ult every single fight. Venusaur is a monster now. And if it doesn't sound like a lot, just buffing those stats by 10 each, when you're at level 10 and 15, defense is 30% higher than it used to be, and your special defense is 25% higher than it used to be. That is a massive buff. They took Venusaur from being such a worthless character that would just die in 3 hits from Cinderace autos to now it's actually a tank that puts out absurd damage. I really think he's one of the best characters in the game, and honestly, right up there with Tito with how good his late game fights are. The range on Petal Dance at level 13 and the amount of damage you can put out with it right now is crazy. And let's talk about what it takes to get there. Usually when you're playing Venusaur, you're going to want to go to the bottom lane. And ideally you have a pocket support, but obviously you don't need one. The character's just really good. It just helps. If you're laning with the support, you're never going to die if you even have half a functioning brain. So what I like to do is I like to go bottom lane, throw on 6 greens and 6 white emblems. I don't even think you need to worry about the 6 black emblems because cooldowns are not an issue for Venusaur. You're running Amp, you get your ult back fast. That helps with your move cooldowns. And like I said, Petal Dance cooldown is only 3 seconds anyways, and if you're hitting enemies with Petal Dance, your Giga Drain is going to be an instant refresh. So black emblems to me are a huge waste. You're much better putting on the 6 greens and the 6 whites. I've got them on the screen here. The total effect, it lowers your HP by 10, but that's not a big deal because you're getting the massive percentage buff from the 6 whites. You get a plus 15 stat boost to your special attack, and the only downside being you're a little bit slow in your movement speed. Granted, that's not nearly as important because you're going to be Petal Dancing 90% of the time anyways, which gives you a movement speed buff so you can chase people down that way. So on top of these emblems, to me, the best build that you run is you run Energy Amp every single time, Focus Band every time, and then you can either run Muscle Band or Buddy Barrier. So Muscle Band is really going to help you get those boosted autos more often, which for early game secure and even team fights are really, really good. I know Venusaur is a special attacker, but his boosted auto physical, and it helps you get it more often. His boosted auto is a little bit of a stun, and it does really, really good damage on Wild Farm, especially early game when you really need to be able to secure it from the other team. And this helps you get to level 5, and then hopefully level 7, ideally when you're rotating up for the first Regieleki. And whether or not you run Buddy Barrier or Muscle Band, the other items are always Focus Band and Energy Amp. If you're running Energy Amp, you can ult with this character almost every single fight if you have any amount of farm or a couple dunks in there to get your ult back. Focus Band is there because it's going to save you in those low health situations. And sometimes an attacker, I think that's a kind of a waste. But the way Venusaur works, obviously with Giga Drain, you're going to be healing yourself. So that little bit of healing and extra sustain you get from a Focus Band might mean that you go from dying to now you've got a couple Giga Drains off on several characters. Now you're back to full HP. So I think Focus Band is really important on this character, especially when you're in those team fights late game. Ideally with Venusaur, he plays like a brawler. You want to be in their whole team, Petal Dancing and Giga Draining away. Obviously, you can't go in 1v5. You're just going to be feeding. No character can really go in 1v5. Except Old Mike before the patch. That was a lot of fun. You gotta enjoy that one. But you gotta have your team a little bit with you. Play with your team. You're the initiator, or you're following in something that's gonna be surfing like a Blastoise, or you're tanking right away. You're one of the frontliners. You want to be right involved in the fight, Giga Draining as many targets as possible. One interesting note about Giga Drain is you don't always want to just go for the lowest HP target. For example, if you have one low HP target that you probably aren't going to be able to kill on one side, and on another side of you, outside of that hitbox, you have 2 or 3 characters on the other team that are full HP, you might as well Giga Drain the guys that are full HP, so it's going to heal you and do more damage, and then you're going to get your Giga Drain back right away, and then be able to kill the other character. Really, it depends. You're playing with your HP, trying to be as greedy as possible, doing as much damage, and taking as much lifesteal as you can get, surviving as long as possible, just laying out constant damage. Venusaur should be able to do easily 100k plus. This game I'm showing you right now, I ended up with 140k, and I've done over that several times. This character is so overtuned right now. He's crazy. I highly recommend you give him a try in ranked. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts on Venusaur, and let me know how it goes if you tried him out. Be sure to check me out on Twitch. Smash sub on YouTube. Appreciate you guys for the support. Have a good one.